A very good afternoon to all and everyone present here. On behalf of their Policy Center and International Ocean Institute, I welcome you all for this eighth batch of IOI Ocean Academy courses, Ocean Literacy, Know Your Planet Beyond Land. A warm welcome to our course educator and guide, Dr. Rambuj, advisor at Mobis Foundation, Dr. K.K. Agnihotri, senior fellow at the National Maritime Foundation, Dr. Suprabha Patnaik, academician and practitioner, Mr. Sabyasachi Chakravarti, research associate, Mr. Sagar Lakotia, project leader, and our founder and director of their policy center, Dr. Vinita Apte. I welcome you all. A special welcome to all the participants who has joined us today. Thank you so much for making it possible. Their Policy Center has partnered with International Ocean Institute to conduct this online Ocean Academy courses in India. An IOI Ocean Academy course is designed to upgrade the ocean literacy by providing an understanding of regionally and locally relevant ocean information at an appropriate level. IOI Ocean Academy program under the title Ocean Literacy, Know Your Planet Beyond the Land is a 10-day course and it's starting from today. So let us begin our program with their anthem. I request Sagar to kindly play the their anthem.
सदियों से जो प्यार जताती ये धरती है सबकी मैया। फूल पेड़ झरने नदियों से हरी भरी कर दी ये दुनिया। ये धरती है सबकी मैया, ये धरती है सबकी मैया। सदियों से जो प्यार जताती ये धरती है सबकी मैया। फूल पेड़ झरने नदियों से हरी भरी कर दी ये दुनिया। ये धरती है सबकी मैया, ये धरती है सबकी मैया। खेल कूद में अनजाने में देते हम सब घाव उसी को।
फिर भी न रूठे या ना डांटे, केवल बाटे प्यार सभी
सबकी खुशियों में वो ढूंढे हरदम हर पल अपनी खुशियाँ। ये धरती है सबकी मैया, ये धरती है सबकी मैया। अहम भाव या स्वार्थ लोभ से भूल गए हम सब उसके ऋण। जंगल तोड़ो पहाड़ फोड़ो सबके सर सवार पागलपन। प्रकृति का करनाश हमी ने मानो अपना कफन सिया। ये धरती है सबकी मैया, ये धरती है सबकी मैया। धरती माँ की रक्षा करना हम सबका एक ही प्रयास।
धरती माँ की रक्षा करना हम सबका एक ही प्रयास।
पेड़ उगाना पेड़ बढ़ाना मन में होगी एक ही आस।
पेड़ उगाना पेड़ बढ़ाना मन में होगी एक ही आस।
हरियाला सावन लौटेगा संग लिए जल की माया। ये धरती है सबकी मैया, ये धरती है सबकी मैया। सदियों से जो प्यार जताती ये धरती है सबकी मैया फूल पेड़ झरने नदियों से हरी भरी कर दी ये दुनिया ये धरती है सबकी है सबकी ये धरती है सबकी
Thank you, Sagar. To know more about this course, I request our founder director, Dr. Vinita Apte, to kindly address the audience. Over to you.
Good afternoon, all my experts, my team. I mean, mostly who is always hosting these courses and doing everything is Sneha and her technical assistant Sagar and all my team. Also, I welcome the participants because without you, this course would not have happened. We have a very good expert team and a very diverse experienced people who are giving the lectures on this IOI and TAIR policy centers courses on ocean. You have to means we as a TAIR we always think that we are working for environment, for the good environment and for the betterment of environment, but the people doesn't know exactly what is the ocean, because we always have fun, we always enjoy the beaches, we always enjoy going towards the sea, we always enjoy surfing on the sea, but we really don't know what kind of services ocean gives us, why it is important in our life. It's like there is only one earth and there is only one ocean. Though there are parts of ocean around the world, and it has divided in names and also in the borders. But those borders are also very important to protect the biodiversity of the oceans, to protect all oceans for our future, for the environmental future, and for the benefit of every humankind. And that was the simple bottom line of starting these courses for the layman's, for the students, for the researchers who really want to research on ocean, but some people are they just want to know what ocean is. And that is what we are doing with our experts to give you the knowledge as much possible as which can protect our oceans. I request my experts that as every time, because this is the eighth course and we have so much of, I mean, always inquiries for this course. But sometimes I feel very bad because the people, those who want to participate, they enrolled in the beginning, but at the end of the course, there are very few people, those who are attending the course for a whole 10 days. And I think that Sneha must have told you the first rule that who will attend the whole course, including of the last day's exam, these people only get our international certificate, which can be elevate your CVs, which can be elevate your knowledge, and especially the loyalty and honesty toward ocean and towards our better for environment things. So thanks once again. I will thank to everyone for coming here and participating for this 10 days, a very small course. It is not as big as 1 year's course also. In 10 days, you can have a sense, you can have a flavor of every aspect of ocean with our experts' knowledge. So I'm very much thankful to all our experts who are giving lectures, not only the lectures, but they have given you their experience about ocean and about their subjects. Thanks, Sneha. Over to you. You can start today's lecture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So without further ado, I believe we can start with our today's session. Is my screen visible? Presentation?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, to begin with, today's topic is the ocean in simple terms. So, understanding the ocean as a whole in a very basic manner is our target for today. So, now, what is ocean? An ocean is a vast, continuous body of salt water that covers more than 70% of Earth's surface. Oceans are one of the most complex components of hydrosphere, which includes all the water found on Earth, such as the rivers, the lakes, glaciers, underwater, and the water vapors in the atmosphere. Now, it plays a crucial role in sustaining life forms on Earth. They act as a planet's climate regulator by absorbing large amount of heat from the sun and slowly releasing it. This process helps moderate global temperatures, prevents extreme climate conditions, and influences the weather patterns such as the monsoons, cyclones, and the rainfall. Ocean also supports an incredible biodiversity of marine life, and it provides food, livelihood, and oxygen. Nearly half of the oxygen that we breathe come from the oceanic phytoplanktons. Now, the ocean is mysterious, it is deep. So, oceans are not only vast in area, but they are incredibly deep. Now, considering the average depth of ocean is about 12,080 feet or 3,682 meters. Now, despite all the technological advancements what we have, much of the ocean remains unexplored, making it one of the least understood environments of the Earth. The deepest known point in the ocean is the Challenger Deep, and it is located in the Mariana Trench, which is located in the Western Pacific Ocean. Now, it reaches an astonishing depth of approximately 36,070 feet, that is 10,994 meters. At such depth, conditions are extreme. There is total darkness, it has freezing temperatures, and it has immense pressure. Yet, there is life which exists in such conditions as well, and it showcases the resilience of nature. Now, all the oceans overall across the world, they are all interconnected, as we all know, and it is forming one global ocean system. However, for our geographical, scientific, and cultural understandings, they are divided into five oceans. As we all know, they are Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Southern or the Antarctic Ocean, and the Arctic Oceans. Now, historically, only four oceans, that is the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and the Arctic, were recognized. In the recent years, most of the countries, including the United States, have officially recognized the Southern Oceans as the fifth ocean. And this is all helping with the all the scientists for study of the ocean currents, the ecosystem, and the climatic patterns more effectively. These divisions, the five divisions, makes all such studies ease. Now, among this, the Pacific, Atlantic, and the Indian Ocean are often referred to as the three major oceans due to their size and the global influence. As we know, the Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean basin, and it is the deepest. It covers approximately 59 million square miles and contains more than half of the Earth's free water. To understand its scale, the Pacific Ocean is larger than the surface of the Mars. So, if you compare the surface of the Mars, it is larger than that. And to its the width, the wide, that is almost you can keep five moons could be placed side by side to see the width of the Pacific Ocean. This ocean plays a major role in global climate systems, including the El Nino, El Enlina, which affects the weather patterns across the world. It is also the home for some of the deepest trenches, volcanic activities, coral reefs, and diverse marine ecosystems. The Atlantic Ocean, further, the second largest ocean, which is covering an area of approximately 41 million square miles. It separates the Americas from the Europe and Africa and is historically significant for the global trade, exploration, and cultural exchanges. For the United States, the Atlantic Ocean borders the east coast, while the Pacific Ocean borders the west coast. The Atlantic Ocean is known for its strong ocean currents, such as the Gulf Stream, which helps keep Europe warmer than the other similar regions in that altitude. The Arctic Ocean is the smallest and the shallowest of all the five oceans, covering about 5.4 million square miles. So, roughly, it is almost 1.5 times the size of the United States. It is surrounded by Greenland, Canada, Alaska, Norway, and Russia. The average depth of the Arctic Ocean is about 12,000 feet, with its deepest point reaching 17,850 feet. For most of the year, the Arctic Ocean is covered with sea ice, and the temperature uh, rarely rises above the freezing point. Despite such harsh conditions, the Arctic Ocean supports unique ecosystems, such as it has polar bears, you can find seals there, there are whales, and various adopted microorganisms which have adopted to this cold temperatures. Far from being barren, it is a vital and fragile environment that keeps the key role in regulating the Earth's climate. So oceans are far more than just the large bodies of water. They are lifelines of planet, and they're shaping the climate, supporting biodiversity, as well as they're sustaining human civilizations. So understanding ocean is essential, not only for science, but also for conservation and sustainable use, especially in the face of climate change and the increasing human pressure on the marine ecosystems. So, moving ahead of this, let us understand how big our ocean is. So, when we say we talk in terms about the size, and it is important to understand that it is just not large, but it is immense and it is beyond easy imagination. So, the ocean covers nearly 71% of the Earth's surface, which means it is more than two-thirds of our planet's water. However, what is even more striking is that the ocean provides 99% of the living space available on the earth. This is because the life in the ocean exists not just on the surface, but throughout its depth and from shallow coastal waters to the deepest trenches. So if when you compare most life forms on Earth is on the land, especially, is restricted with a thin layer of the Earth's surface. So the distribution of land and sea is also uneven across the planet. So if you can see what is mentioned here in the northern hemisphere, the sea to land ratio is approximately 60 is to 40, meaning there is still significant amount of land.
Yes, yes.
However, if you compare with the
Yeah, but
southern hemisphere, the ratio shifts dramatically to 80 is to 20, making it far more ocean dominated. That is why the southern hemisphere is also referred to as the water hemisphere. Now, this
yes.
unequal distribution, it influences the global climate, ocean regulations, and weather systems, especially the southern part of the world. To understand the average depth of the ocean, which is about 3,733 meters. To put it into some perspective, let us consider the Kalsubai Peak. It is the highest point in Maharashtra, which is only 1,646 meters high, less than half of the ocean depth, average depth. The deepest point in the ocean reaches about 11,022 meters, which is deeper than Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on land, is highest at 8,849 meters. So, if Mount Everest was placed inside the deepest ocean trench, its peak would still be more than 2 kilometers below sea level. So, this comparison highlights how deep and unexplored the ocean truly is. So now beneath the ocean, you all know ocean there lies one of the most remarkable geographical features on Earth, the mid-oceanic ridge. Now this is a continuous water body, underwater mountain chain that stretches about 64,000 kilometers. So it making it 4 times longer than all the mountain ranges on land combined. So, in some places, this ridge system is more than 2,000 kilometers wide. It is also one of the active geographical zones on the planet where new oceanic crust is constantly being formed through volcanic activities. So, we'll see how the oceanic crust is formed in the further slides as well. So now, despite its size and importance, much of the system remains hidden beneath the ocean surface. So, so through this, we understand that how much we see ocean or how much we know, it is even more deeper and much more wider than this. So now let us see where is the Earth's water. So when we look at the distribution of water on Earth, the dominance of ocean becomes even more clear. So about 96.5% of water on Earth is contained in the ocean, and only 2% is locked in the ice on land, mainly in the glaciers and the ice caps. So now all the groundwater which is there, it sums up to around just 1%, while the rivers and the lakes, which we are dependent on directly, accounts to just 0.2%. And the water which is present in the atmosphere makes up an extremely small fraction, which is just about 0.1 percent. And this means that almost all the Earth's water is saline ocean water, and only a very tiny portion is readily accessible fresh water. So this highlights the importance of water conservation. This shows that how important it is to conserve the water, the bare minimum amount of water, what is accessible to us. It is important to see that the ocean health is maintained, as well as the sustainable management of the freshwater resources we have. Overall, all these facts helps us understand that ocean is not just a large feature of our planet. It is the dominant environment of Earth. It is shaping life, climate, geology, and also the future of our planet. So this is overall giving us the significance of oceans. So we understand that ocean is just not any physical feature of the planet, but it is a life support system for Earth. Almost every natural or human processes, it is directly or indirectly connected to the ocean. So one of the most critical roles of the ocean is climate regulations. So now the ocean, it absorbs nearly 25% of the anthropogenic carbon dioxide, which is mainly the greenhouse gases which is produced, released due to the human activities, such as burning of fossil fuels and all. But by absorbing this carbon, the ocean slows down the rate of climate change. However, this also leads to ocean acidification, which poses serious risk to marine ecosystems. Now, in addition to the absorption of carbon dioxide, ocean also plays a major role in oxygen production. So it generates approximately 50 to 80% of the oxygen present in the atmosphere, mainly through the microscopic marine plants called the phytoplanktons, which are present on the surface of the ocean. So this means that every second breath that we take is closely linked to the health of the ocean. The ocean covers nearly 71% of the Earth's surface, making it dominant feature for our planet. It absorbs around 90% of the excess heat that is generated by human-induced greenhouse gas emissions. Without this heat absorbing capacity, global temperature would have risen much faster to water is rising now and making the planet far less habitable. So, however, the ocean also bears the burden of human activities. According to the joint group of experts on scientific aspects of marine environmental protection, nearly 80% of marine pollution originates from land-based sources. This includes the plastic, chemicals, sewage, agricultural runoffs, or the industrial waste, all of which is eventually all this waste, they find their way into the ocean. So we have seen that the ocean, it regulates the climate, it is absorbing the carbon dioxide, it produces oxygen, uh, it sucks in all the waste which is generated by the human-based activities. But ocean is also a backbone for our global economy. So about 95% of the world's trade, measured by weight, it is transported through ocean shipping routes. Like you can take right from food and fuel to manufactured goods. Ocean enables international trades and economic connectivity. Now, beyond visible transport, ocean also provides a modern communication systems. So nearly 98% of the global digital communication, including the internet data, the phone calls, and the financial transactions, are transmitted through submarine fiber optic cables that are laid across the ocean floors. Now, this makes ocean essential not only for physical connectivity, but also for the digital world we completely rely on the current days. So we have seen that the ocean contains approximately 97% of all the waters on the planet, while only a small fraction of fresh water is available for human use. Now, this highlights the importance of protecting the ocean systems as they influence the global water cycle, the rainfall patterns, and the freshwater availability. Most importantly, the ocean offers about 99% of the Earth's biosphere or the living space. Unlike land, where life is restricted to the surface, the ocean supports life throughout its depth, from shallow coral reefs to deep sea ecosystem. This makes it the largest habitat on Earth and home to an extraordinary diversity of life. So the ocean is Earth's climate regulator. So it's if we sum up all this, we can say that the ocean is a climate regulator. It is oxygen generator, economic highway, digital backbone, and a primary living space. So, making its protection not only an option, but it is a necessity for the future of our planet. So, moving ahead, let us understand the plate tectonics and the role it plays in formation of the ocean. So, till now we understood in a form that what is ocean, what are its compositions, what is the significance, uh, the content, everything is what we have understood. But now let us see the role which the plate tectonics play in the formation of the ocean. So the movement of Earth's lithospheric plate over the semi-liquid asthenosphere. This is called as the um, plate tectonics. So to understand how the oceans are formed and continuously reshaped, we must first understand this concept. So plate tectonic refers to the movement of Earth lithospheric plate, larger rigid section of the Earth's outer shell is the lithospheric plate that floats and it moves slowly over a semi-liquid layer beneath them, which is known as the asthenosphere. So you can see this is the lithospheric area, and this is the semi-liquid which moves. Now, this plate moves only in a few centimeters per year, but over billions of years, their movement has completely transformed the surface of Earth, including the formations and the evolution of oceanic basins. Now, creation of ocean basins is through divergent uh, boundaries. So, one of the most important roles of plate tectonics in ocean formation occurs as divergent plate boundaries, where two plates move away from each other. So, I'll show you a pictorial classification where you can clearly understand this. So, if you can see, these two plates they move away from each other. As the plates separate, the molten material from the mantle arises and fills this gap. It cools and forms an oceanic crust. Now, this process leads to creation of an oceanic basin and is responsible for the formation of mid-ocean ridges, such as the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. So, over time, as more crust is formed, the ocean basin widens and it deepens, giving rise to large ocean like the Atlantic. Now, the other section is the continental drift. So, it is changing ocean shape over time. Plate tectonic also explains why the shapes and the positions of the ocean are not permanent. Throughout the process of continental drift, continents slowly move across the Earth's surface. So you can see the continental drift example in this figure here, where you can see that this continents they slide away, forming a particular. So around 200 million years ago, if you see, all the continents were joined together in a single landmass known as the Pangaea. around the vast ocean. So everybody knows that all the continents were joined together. As the tectonic plate moved apart, the continents separated and new oceans formed between them. This ongoing movement continues to change the shape, the size, and the position of the ocean even today. As I mentioned earlier, that this plates move only a few centimeters per year. That is the reason we don't feel the differences as we move on this planet, saying the continents are moving. That effect has not been noted much. Conversion boundaries is the next topic, subduction and ocean trenches. So if you see this subduction zone boundaries, this is the example. This is the you'll understand the concept. At the convergent plate boundaries, two plates move towards each other. When a dense oceanic plate collides with a less dense continental plate, the oceanic plate is forced beneath the continental plate, and this process is known as the subduction. So in the first one, we see the divergence. The plates are moving away. The continental drift was the two plates are drifting apart, forming such structures. And in the third case, the two plates are coming or they're moving towards each other, where the less dense continental plate which is there uh, collides with the other, and the oceanic plate, it will move below. So this formation is called as the subduction. So this process creates a deep oceanic trench. For example, the Mariana Trench. It is deepest part of the world's ocean. Now, the subduction zone are also areas of intense geological activities and plays a key role in recycling oceanic crust back into the Earth's mantle. Formation of the volcanic islands and seamounts. The plate tectonic activity is also responsible for formation of the volcanic islands and underwater mountains. And these underwater mountains are known as the seamounts. Now, these features can form when magma rises through cracks in the oceanic crust or when the tectonic plates move over the hotspot of the mantle. Over time, repeated volcanic eruptions can build underwater mountain high enough to emerge above sea level, forming island chain such as the Hawaiian Islands. Many seamount remain submerged but are ecologically important habitats to the marine life. The earthquakes and the tsunamis. The movement of the tectonic plate does not occur smoothly. Now, when this plate move, the plates often get stuck due to friction, and when they suddenly slip, the energy released causes earthquake. When such earthquake occurs beneath the ocean floor, they can displace large volumes of water. So that this process of triggering the large volume of water is known as the tsunamis. So this event demonstrate how the plate tectonics not only shapes the ocean floor, but it also has direct and sometimes devastating impacts on the coastal regions and the human communities there. So the plate tectonics is the driving force behind the creation, the expansion, and a continuous reshaping of oceans. So without the movement of Earth tectonic plate, ocean could not exist in their present form. As now we understood the plate tectonics or the formation of the ocean, a quick quick recap on this, that it is due to the various movements of the lithospheric plates and the movement of the semi-liquid layer which is there beneath. Um, there are different formations which are created, which also includes the volcanic islands or the sea mounds, and also the devastating
प्रेजेंट कहाँ से लगती है?
uh anybody who's asking anything? If not, I request the participants to kindly mute yourselves. Okay, so let us move ahead by understanding the zones and the layers of the ocean. Now, ocean is not uniform from the surface to bottom. At least this is what we basically know, that from top to bottom, ocean cannot be uniform. So instead, it is divided into distinct vertical zones or layers based on the amount of sunlight, temperature, pressure, and the life present at different depths.
नहीं
So, okay, so as I was saying, that the ocean is divided into different zones, and this zonations are done on the basis of the amount of sunlight it receives, the temperature in that zone, the pressure, and the life which is present at each depth. So as we go deeper, the condition becomes colder, it becomes darker, or even more extreme, and life adapts in a remarkable way. So if you see the first zone, it is epipelagic zone, or it is also called as the sunlight zone or the photic zone. So this zone, it extends from the ocean surface down to about 200 meters. So this is only part of the ocean that receives enough sunlight to support photosynthesis. Most human interactions with the ocean happens in this zone. So the scuba diving usually reaches to a maximum depth of about 40 meters, and recreational divers are typically limited to around 20 meters. So almost all the world's fisheries resources are found in this zone because it supports abundant planktons, which forms the base of the marine food web. This zone is rich in life, and it includes the coral reefs, large fish, marine mammals, and microscopic phytoplanktons that produces the oxygen, and it keeps the marine ecosystem supporting. So the next zone, which you can see here, is it's going up to 1,000 meters below, is the mesopelagic zone, or it is also called as the twilight zone. So below this sunlight zone is the twilight zone, and it is extending down to about 1,000 meters. The sunlight is very weak here and not sufficient for the photosynthesis, or it is creating a deep and shadow environment in this zone. Many organisms living in this zone undertake daily vertical migrations. They swim up to the surface at night to feed, and they return to the deeper waters during the day. And this is basically done to avoid predators. So this makes it one of the most important zones for energy transfer within the ocean, even though it remains largely unexplored. If you go further below, so it is a bathypelagic zone or the midnight zone. The bathypelagic zone, also which is called as the midnight zone, is a region with complete darkness where the sunlight does not penetrate at all. The temperatures here are near freezing and the pressure is extremely high. So the number of species here is relatively limited, but the organisms that do exist show extraordinary adaptations. For example, in this midnight zone, you will find angelfishes and it uses bioluminescence. It is producing their own light and it attracts the prey in the darkness. So many animals in this zone have slow metabolism and soft bodies to survive under intense pressure. So the species which are found in this midnight zone has adapted themselves in such a way uh, that, as I mentioned, the anglerfish, it is using bioluminescence, and it is a form of attracting the prey. So it has adapted itself in such a way that they can survive in this tough region as well. Moving deeper, that is from 4,000 to 6,000 meters deep, is the abyssopelagic zone, and it is also often called as the abyss, and it extends below the midnight zone. The life becomes much more sparse here due to the extreme pressure and cold and the absence of light. Now, this name of the zone, it comes from a Greek word abyss, which means bottomless, and it is reflecting how mysterious and inaccessible this region once seemed. Despite this harsh conditions, certain animals, we still find some of the organisms in this abyss zone.
Yeah. That's
So, as I was saying, in the abyss zone, there are some of the organisms which have adopted themselves, such as the sea cucumbers or the Bristol stars and deep sea fishes. And they are surviving on minimal food or often relying on the organic matter which is falling from the upper layers. Below is the trenches, and it is below 6,000 meters. The deepest ocean layer is the ha- hadal-pelagic zone, which includes deep sea trenches, such as the Marina Trench. And this depth experiences immense pressure. It has near freezing temperatures and absolute darkness. For a long time, scientists believed that life could not exist in this extreme conditions. However, research has shown that specialized life forms do exist in such um, extreme areas as well, and it is including some microorganism and small invertebrates that is adapted to survive uh, what seems like an almost impossible condition. So if you see all this five layers which are there, it is the ocean is a layered world where each zone represents unique environmental challenges and extreme or almost extraordinary adaptations. From the sunlit surface to the deepest trench, life in the ocean demonstrates remarkable resilience and diversity. So even the places like what we cannot physically see or experience, there are microorganisms or the small invertebrates as such, which are surviving in such conditions. So now, further, now that we have seen the different zones or the layers of ocean, so for the next step, what we can do is we can explore some of the ocean habitats. Now, ocean habitats are specific environments within the ocean where plants and animals live, they grow, they interact with each other. Now, these habitats are shaped by factors such as depth, sunlight, temperature, water movements, salinity, and as well as the nature of the flow. Unlike the land, these habitats are mostly where for the land habitats, they are mostly horizontal. Whereas if you compare the ocean habitats, they are both. They are horizontal and vertical. And it is stretching from the coastline to the deep sea, from where the sunlight surface to the darkest trenches. So what we just previously saw, the vertical trend. Now, each habitat supports a unique form of life that are specially adapted to its conditions. Ocean habitats are incredibly diverse. Some of which are found in shallow, well-lit waters close to lands, while the others exist in deep, dark, and high-pressure environments far from the surface. Together, all these habitats they support a vast biodiversity of ocean, regulating the climate, providing food, livelihood, and it also protects the coastlines. As we explore different ocean habitats, so as we can see, we have the coastal ecosystem, the coral reefs, deep sea environments, the open oceans. We will see how life in the ocean is closely connected to the physical conditions and why protecting these habitats is essential for the health of the planet and the well-being. So let us now look into the major ocean habitats and understand their characteristics and the importance. So to begin with, we have the shoreline or the intertidal zone. The shoreline is also called as the intertidal zone, and it is an area above, just above and below the high tide lines. So this habitat is constantly changing as it is alternately exposed to air during low tide and it is submerged underwater, under seawater, especially during the high tide. So, despite such harsh and fluctuating conditions, the shoreline is one of the most biologically productive habitats. It provides diverse breeding and feeding sites for shorebirds, seabirds, crabs, mollusks, and various other organisms. So species living here have adapted to strong waves, drying out since there is high tide and low tide. It is exposed to the air and it is submerged under the water, and there are temperature changes as well. So they have well adapted to all such critical changes which is happening. The shoreline also acts as a critical link between the sea and the land and supporting biodiversity and playing an important role in the nutrient cycling. So, we all must have gone to beach some part of our life, and we have seen the shorelines. What seems very silent, we walk over this place, but if you go and see minutely, there are various activities which are happening in this area. Um, making it one of the important tidal zone or ecosystem or the ocean habitat. Further, we have the coral reefs. Now, coral reefs are among the most diverse marine habitats on Earth, and they are often called the rainforest of the sea. They are found in shallow tropical waters where sunlight can penetrate easily and the average water temperature remains below 18 degrees. The coral reefs are built by tiny animals called the coral polyps, which live in symbiosis with the algae that provide them with energy through photosynthesis. This ecosystem supports thousands of species of fish, invertebrates, and marine plants, while it also protects the coastlines from waves and storms. For exploring further, we have the kelp forest, and this occurs in the temperate region where water temperature is generally below 20 degrees Celsius. They are dominated by large brown algae called the kelp, which can grow up to 50 meters long, making them one of the largest growing organisms on Earth. These underwater forests, it creates a complex structure that provides food, shelter, nursery grounds for the fish, sea otters, invertebrates, and many other species as well. Now, this kelp forest also plays an important role in carbon absorption and coastal protection. Further beneath, we have the deep sea, the surface that lies the deep sea where sunlight cannot reach. So this habitat is characterized by total darkness, cold temperature, and immense pressure. The life in the deep sea has evolved extraordinary adaptation, such as the bioluminescence, like the angelfish. It has slow metabolism and unique feeding strategies. Although it is one of the least explored habitats on Earth, the deep sea is essential for nutrient cycling and long term carbon storage. Then we have the open ocean. It refers to the vast water away from the coastline and the continental shelves. At first glance, it may appear completely empty, but it is teeming with life. This is something what we see on the surface. Like when we just type ocean, the open oceans, what we see. I'm talking about that habitat. Now, this habitat is dominated by planktons, which form the base of the marine food web, and it supports large migratory species such as the tuna, the sharks, whales, dolphins. The open ocean also plays a critical role in global climate regulation, carbon cycling, and oxygen production. Mangroves is, I believe, most of them must have seen the mangroves, and they are found in the tropical, subtropical coastal regions, especially in sheltered shorelines, estuaries, and river mouths. Sundarbans is an example. This unique trees are specially adapted to survive in brackish and saltwater conditions. Now, this ecosystem, it serves as a nursery ground for many crustaceans and fishes. It protects the coastlines from erosion, from storms, and it also acts as a powerful carbon sink. They also support coastal communities by providing livelihood and natural protection against the extreme weather events. Now, together with we see this ocean habitats form an interconnected network that if you see the shoreline is connected, the open sea, then we have the deep sea, we have the kelp forests down there, the mangroves. All this are interconnected, and it supports a marine biodiversity. Overall, it gives protection to the coastline. It sustains life on the planet. So protecting any one of the habitat helps protect the entire ocean system. Now let's see why ocean conservation is important. So now, from the beginning, we understood what is ocean, how it is formed, what is the significance, what are the zonation, the different types of ecosystems which is there, that we've understood. Now let us all see that why is conservation of ocean important? Now, ocean conservation is essential because the ocean is the foundation of life on Earth. We all accept this. It influences the air we breathe. We saw the climate we experience, the food we eat, the livelihood of the billion people across the world. It is all dependent on ocean directly or indirectly. First and foremost, the ocean produces most of the oxygen in our atmosphere. So the microscopic marine plants called the phytoplanktons generate over half of the oxygen we breathe. So as I mentioned, every second breath we take, that is in some way or the other connected to the ocean. So making its health directly linked to human survival. The climate regulations and the weather patterns. The ocean plays a central role in regulating Earth's climate and weather systems. It absorbs large amount of heat and redistributes it across the planet through ocean currents. Now, this process it influences the rainfall patterns, monsoons, cyclones, and temperature extremes. By absorbing carbon dioxide and oxygen, also helps slow down the impact of climate change, although this comes at the cost of marine ecosystems. It supports marine life and biodiversity. Marine life, biodiversity, and the human dependency. The ocean supports an extremely or almost extraordinary range of marine life and biodiversity, offering about 99% of Earth's living space. Healthy ocean means healthy ecosystem that provides food, it maintains the ecological balance, and it supports millions of species. Now, for the humans, the ocean is vital source for food and livelihood. Fisheries and marine related industries support the lives of millions of people, particularly coastal the island communities. Now, from fishing and tourism to shipping and trade, the ocean based economies are deeply connected to human well being. The coastal protection and disaster risk reduction is one of the important factors. So, natural ocean ecosystem, such as the coral reefs, the mangroves, the sea grasses, they act as a protective barriers. They reduce the energy of the waves. It is also preventing coastal erosion, and it protects the communities from storms, cyclones, tsunamis, the natural disasters which occur. So when these ecosystems are degraded, the coastal region becomes far more vulnerable to natural disasters. The ocean is also a major driver of global economy. It carries most of the world trade. It supports digital communication through under sea cables and offers immense opportunities for sustainable development. In addition, the ocean is a frontier of scientific discovery, helping us better understand the climate change, biodiversity, medicine, and Earth's natural processes. So, I believe it is a shared responsibility. So, despite its importance, the ocean faces serious threats from pollution, climate change, overfishing, habitat destructions, and unsustainable development. Now, all these pressures are pushing marine ecosystem beyond their limits. So, ocean is just it is just not. So the ocean is just not the body of water, it is the heart of our planet. And protecting it is not just a choice or a luxury, what we can just take, but it is a necessity for the survival of current and the future generation. So if we protect the ocean today, we protect the life on Earth for tomorrow. So yeah, this was from my side, from presentation, giving a glimpse of understanding, in a very simple way, what ocean is, how it is formed, what are these zonations, and the different ecosystems around it. So if you have any questions, you can just post it on the chat, or you can just go ahead asking. Anybody? Okay, I see two of our mentors were joined here. There's KK Agnihotri sir and Dr. Suprabha ma'am. Uh, so ma'am, if you want to share some things for our participants, you can just unmute yourself and go ahead. Agnihotri sir. We have Suprabha ma'am. Suprabha ma'am, do you want to say something? Or would you like to address the participants?
Hi, Sneha. This is Suprabha.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Uh, yeah, congratulations. I welcome all the participants of the eighth batch of uh, clim ocean literacy program. It's wonderful uh, your Vinita madam's welcome and your presentation was extremely good and giving a brief introduction what ocean is and how it is important, how it is important in our everyday life and etc. and sustainable development. Uh, it's wonderful and very I see participants from different parts of India and also from outside India and who are very enthusiastic uh, learning uh, about the ocean and getting educated and how it would help this program would help in their further uh, work in various ocean development and ocean related work and I wish all the success and I wish them all the best. And I'm looking forward to my own session on the 19th of this month. Thank you, Sneha.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your kind words and encouraging. Look forward for your session. I guess I see one question here who says ocean play role in global warming. I believe you're asking for the ocean, how it plays a role in global warming. So, as I mentioned, ocean is a great absorber of the carbon dioxide, which is emitted across the globe. It The ocean current, it also acts as a conveyor belt for warmer and colder water, and it is sending heat towards the polar regions. So this is how it is regulating the what do you say, the heat which is released and the absorption. So it is a thermal battery in a way. Okay. So as it absorbs the excess heat and the energy, it is released from the greenhouse gases which are what you say, released from the anthropogenic activities. That is how it is, the absorption basically is playing a role in the global warming. Desnan, does oil exploration harms the ocean marine life? Yes, definitely. It does um, harm the marine life because as we have seen through the presentation, the ocean is such an ecosystem which is having marine life in each zonations. There are different zones which are present. There is marine life which have adopted themselves in such a way that they can sustain in such a harsh conditions as well. But the over oil explorations, to some extent, it does harm the ocean life as it interrupts their um, way of adoption which is there. Are there any more questions from the or any of the participants who would like to share their thoughts? Okay, as I believe there are no more questions which are coming up. There are a few things which I would like to share with all the participants here. That when you're log in on for these Zoom meeting, I'll request everyone to kindly rename your devices, because in this I still see some of the devices they are such as Samsung SMM127G. So I'll request them to rename that by your name. There is somebody who is SG. So rather than the initials, I'll want you all to put up your first name and the last name. There is also Oppo device which I can see here. So for everyone, overall, I'll request you all to put up your name. So this is going to count for your attendance. If you all don't mention your names here, I'll not understand who is attending the course. So when it is attendance, I'll request all the participants to attend all the sessions as it is compulsory, and to answer the assessment test, which will be conducted on the last date, that is the 10th, which is going to make you all eligible to get the e-certificates. And tomorrow's session, the details will be posted to you all tomorrow. No, you don't have to put your name in the chat, but just rename your device. So when you're logging in, you'll get rename your device. Srinidhi Himani, I see your name here, so I don't find any issue on your name. Does anybody needs any clarification on this? Then you can just drop a question here. So for our tomorrow's session, we'll be starting at 3. The link for the tomorrow's session will be sent to you all. And our tomorrow's session will be conducted by Dr. Ram Bhuj, and the topic is on living with the ocean. So with this, I would like to end our today's session. See you all tomorrow. Somebody from SG is asked how we mark our attendance. We are noting your presence here. That's the reason I've asked you all to write your full name. SG, the initials won't just work. I prefer you writing your full name over here. So that is going to mark your attendance. So if you could just mention your name, I'll mark your attendance for the day.
Hello, I have a question. I missed.
Yeah.
Okay, if I miss the first part of our meeting, so can I get the record?
What time are you joining?
Um, I wanna get the record.
Recordings will be given to the people who have cleared their exams, and that will be post the completion of the course. You'll get all the materials.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I see
Hello,
Meghna.
I don't understand how called my uh should we mark our attendance in.
Dina, your name has been mentioned here, so your attendance has been recorded.
Sorry, I don't listen you very well.
Am I audible to you now?
Yes.
Yeah, since you have already mentioned your name in the participant list here right now, so your attendance has been noted.
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
understand now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Before winding up, I'll just take one question from Meghna, which is there. She's asking, how should we contribute to ocean conservation? So it's very basic. What we can start at home is you conserve the water, use less water, so there is no excess of runoff, or the waste of does not flow back to the ocean. You can reduce the pollutants, reduce your waste. This are change your lifestyle. It's a very small basic changes what you can make, but at a very small scale you can contribute to the larger picture of ocean conservation.
And I have another question. Um, how can small populations who contribute to ocean conservation in uh, uh, in the remote areas?
Can you post your question? I just missed out, or you can just say it again.
Yeah. I write the chat.
Okay. Dina, you can mail your questions if it is not coming on the chat. Not an issue. You can connect with me. So thank you everyone for joining today, and I to see you all on time tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was really a great collaboration.